Okay, so I'm looking at my legs. And I guess for the blocking, we've got kind of cylinder parts here. Okay. And then we kind of got a hinge joint. We got a ball and socket joint up here of sorts in this here that I'm not crazy about, but whatever. And then down here, there's some kind of, it looks kind of rigid. I think I'm going to have to do something creative to this a bit later. But to start off with, let's just go in and get myself a polygon cylinder. And I'll just move it up over to here. Okay, and so as I'm looking at this, I see that, okay, it's very cylindrical right here, then there's a funny outer coating kind of thing on here that I'm going to have to play around with topology on. That's okay. And then I get down to here, we got this ball and socket thing. I think I need a sphere. So let's get a sphere in here. And pop this over here. And my sphere looks like it's got too much geometry in it. By the way, my cylinders, I always default them to 8 sections. And my spheres, I tend to, as I'm modeling and I know I'm going to smash things together, I like 8 in the axis and 6 in my height. And that seems to work better for me. Boop. Okay. And so it's somewhere around here. And I might just go and take this thing and line it up a bit better. If I hold down V, I can line it up so it's right there. Okay. And how do I want to do this one? Well, with this one here, we've got this ball and socket. Or no, this is a hinge joint. And actually, I'm just going to take this and I'll make a quick duplicate and I'll pile that down here. Okay, and again, I'm going to have to do some creative things here. It looks like he's got like cowboy knees kind of pointing out. So I'm just going to make them straight up and down because they're easier to rig. But let's take this thing. And if I grab these faces right here and I go up to mesh and I hit extract and I delete the history right away, now I've got 2 separate pieces. Okay, cool. And I'm just going to take this one and let's just isolate those for a moment. And let's see, right here we need to take this one and I'm just going to go mesh, fill hole, and maybe I'll grab these faces. And if I went in here, and I think when I'm trying to do this whole Cylon, I'm going to try to use every freaking Maya tool in the menus. Bloop. I should check the other side, just in case I screwed up. I'm pretty sure that I'm good. There we go. Okay, and now, if I take a look at all these faces right here on the top of this thing, we got 4 faces, we got 8 outside edges, and this one here has got the same. So, let's take these 2, and I'm going to go in here, mesh, and I'm going to hit combine, and I'll delete the history, and I'll grab these faces here, deselect those, so I got those faces selected. And I'll hit bridge. As long as the outside edge count works, I can do that. Just watch out if you ever try this trick and you do it with faces, don't undo. Okay, that seems to be where you're going to crash. You can do it with edges. You usually have to delete the faces and then do it, but I've noticed that you tend to crash. So let's take this one and this one. Whoop. And we'll isolate those. And let's see, to make this work, what if I take those and I go and I hit mesh, fill hole. Let's see, last time I did the poke face method, so this time I'm going to do the multi-cut method. I go in here and I, oh you bastard, do that. Now you got to watch out, when you're doing the multi-cut tool, I tend to always get n-gons up in here. And so if I hit 3 right now, didn't get any n-gons. But I tend to prefer, more than the multi-cut tool, I like the poly split tool. And if you go down here, set tool to poly split context and hit enter, you get the old Maya poly split tool. Yay! And if you middle click drag it, you can put it onto your shelf. I middle click drag, popped it on my shelf. And now I got this tool and I can go from here. And basically, as long as you click on an edge and you just slide it, you'll never get a freaking end gun. Oh, I just got something stupid there. Okay, so let's try it again. I don't think it likes me in my face, so I'm just going to go down here and it's snapped to the center. There, boom. And I got it. And I never get any end guns with this tool. I miss this tool. Okay, so that's good. And then we get to this section here. And let's see if I count these faces here. If I go in and let's actually, first things first, let's take this one and this one. And we'll go and hit mesh, combine. Okay, great. Delete the history. And let's see, for this section here, if I do something like I grab these faces here, la la la, and then these two, I could probably go in and hit bridge. Okay, there. That one. The outside edge count is all the same, so I can bridge. And you can also go in here and I can go and pop in an edge loop. All I'm doing is holding down Control, right click, edge loop, and split. There. Okay, and I can come back and do some cleanup to this later on. But for now, I'm happy and I know it. And I've given myself a nice little hinge joint there. As we look up here, what are we at? 6-minute mark. Okay, hinge joint down into here, and as I'm making this thing is actually going to end up being hidden inside of this piece right here. And to get this piece here, it feels like I could probably take this and scale that in. Maybe I'll even move that up so it's kind of on par with this thing here. Okay, and then to get these shapes, I almost want to consult more images, try and figure out what the back of that looks like. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take these faces here, and I'm going to go and hit Mesh, Duplicate Face. Bloop. Oh, Edit Mesh, Duplicate Face. And it won't let me do it, and why not? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead, delete the history, and I'm going to try it again. Whoop. Edit Mesh, Duplicate Face. Okay, there we go. I can just pull it off a little bit. And I grabbed the wrong one. Usually when you do that, you want to grab the blue arrow. Okay, and I'm just going to delete the history on these things. Great. Okay, and then this thing here, I'm just going to go and make this a little bit more transparent and pull this down. I just pulled it out a little bit so I had some thickness to it. Not too much, but just enough. Actually, what the hell is that? Is there like another part in here? Bloop. Okay, maybe when I was hitting Duplicate Face and I thought I wasn't getting anything, I did get a couple of extra pieces in there. So it's good that I spotted that. Something looked funky. Okay, I'm just going to grab these vertices and scale them back together again a bit here. Okay, and let's see, this thing kind of comes down like that, and I got to figure out how to get that shape in. It almost feels like it's going to be based off of this. You know what, this is trickier to make a tutorial out of than I thought. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, so I just spent some time looking around at pictures of Cylons, and you know what? I'm going to come back to all this, and I'm just going to put in the rough design for now, and then I'll spend some time making little Cylon videos where I just freaking model, because there's problems. Anyway, so some things to think about. If I take both these pieces, I'm just going to pull them forward a little bit here, And Control Z to grab that piece as well. Okay, and I just want to make sure that these vertices here are lined up roughly with that, because I want a little bit of a bend in my pieces. This F9, Control F9. Interesting. Okay, there. I can pull these back. This is just going to make it a bit easier when I'm rigging, so I have a bent knee. Let's pull this back a little bit and give that a bit of style. Okay, cool. So as we get down to here, I have some pieces I'm going to build off of here, but let's do it like that. And if I go up and I look at this section here that's going to go into the hip, let's go in and create a polygon sphere. And I'll take that sphere and do my little thing. 8, tab, 6, enter. And I'm just going to grab my move tool. And if I hold down V, I can snap the sphere right in like that. Okay, cool. So I've got this kind of ball and socket thing happening here. And if I take this and, because I use sections of 8, I can easily do something like this. Okay, and I'm just trying to fit it in so it fits and lines up with the rest of the geometry here. And I might just push that in a wee bit. Okay, there. And I'm just going to take this sphere, now that I've got it here, and I'm going to make a duplicate. So I hit Control D on the keyboard. Then I'm going to grab this beast, and let's go over and isolate them for a moment so you can see what the hell I'm doing. Now, as soon as I go mesh and I throw a Boolean difference, I selected them in the wrong order. So if I hit difference, I'll get something like this, and that's not what I want. Okay, what I do want is this thing here should be selected last. It should be highlighted in green. If you have a lot of objects, you can just flip them around right here in Object, and that will change the order. You could just reselect them, but I'm just showing you a trick. And now when I go Mesh, Booleans, Difference, there, now it's chopped out of there. And then I've just got to do some quick cleanup. Most likely this thing here will be dead. Okay, so I just got rid of it. This thing, if you take a look at how the geometry is sitting, okay, it didn't really quite line up that well. I'm just going to grab my target weld tool, and I'll just grab vertices, and I'm going to try to go and move them along. Sometimes my angle is kind of a bit goofy and it won't be happy with me. Okay, let's do something like that. And this one here, come on you bastard. Okay, fine, how about that one? There. Lined up. And this one to here. See, that doesn't work. So sometimes it won't work. So if I grab this and if I just hold down V, I can do that. Grab these two right here, hold down V, book, snap them in. I'm just going to double check and make sure I didn't get anything in the back. Felt like I might have got something in the back for a second. Felt a great disturbance in the force. And I'll just pop that one there, there. You just grab them all. And if I hit, say, 3 right now, I would see there's a problem, so I can go merge, merge to center. I'm just holding down Shift and right-clicking. Okay. Also, when you hold down Shift, you can go up here to merge, and you'll find the target weld tool. I'm going to have to go back to 1. Whoop. Come on, you bastard. Sometimes it just depends upon the angle that you're on. You can still see it's kind of angry with me. There. Is there anything funky here? Can't tell. That looks good. If I see anything this way, try and move that over. You see, it doesn't always want to take it. So what if I take that one and go there? Okay, it's happy with me. Doesn't care. And I kind of want to move this one to here. There, got it. And strange, it wants to go one way, not the other. And I'm just going to hit 3 again and see if I got any issues. And it looks like I've got some issues up in here. So what if I just grab those two, merge the center. There. So that's all clean. clean. And actually, I'm just going to take this out of here. Okay, and let's unisolate that. And I'll just delete the history on it, and I'll hit 1, and then just going to go and mesh, put a proxy on it. Actually, when I did the proxy, you notice that it gave me a kind of a weird gap, and it looks like one of the vertices here moved over a little bit, so I'm just going to undo the proxy. Just going to grab these vertices here. Let's just go into 4 and see what happened. Okay, I guess the little pit here went too far in. Okay, not the pit, but the section of the sphere in the back here. So it's not happy about that. And I really don't think anyone's going to notice if I go in here and grow the selection. There. No one's going to notice that. I could have maybe even, you know what? I almost feel like I could have pulled that whole section out a bit. You know what? I'm going to do that. Put these back. I'm going to grow my selection. I really hate this extra sub-marking menu that they put in here for this. This is just stupid. I never use grow along loop. That'd be... I don't know. It's another one of these Maya mysteries. There, I just moved it away from the center of the whole thing, and now I don't have to think about it. Okay, and then if I just take this whole piece, and I do the proxy again. There, now I don't have that weird gap. But now what I can do is I can take this sphere that's here in the hip, this hip joint, and I can grab these faces, and I can extrude, and I'm just gonna go in. I'll just switch to my move tool. You can switch from local to global if you want to, right? So when I hit Control E, you can go and switch from local to global, and then you've kind of got this global control. And that's cool. You can do whatever you want. And I think that should be good. Actually, let's show you another trick here while I'm doing this. So I'm just going to go back, and I undid what I was just doing there. Pull this out a little bit. And now when I hit extrude, I switch from local to global. When I'm in global, you can pull the pivot point. So you can move the pivot point if you want to. So I could do something like this, move it down to here. And then when I go into extrude, I can pull this down. Actually, I'm just going to see what happens if I do this. No, don't move it with the move tool. That doesn't work. You have to make sure you're on the this tool here. Switch from local to global. Local to global. Okay, and I'm just going to globally move it down. And I'm going to see what happens when I put in extra divisions. Dook, dook. Okay, and so you can see that you can kind of control the arc a little bit. That looks potentially interesting, and we'll come in and deal with those later on. And if I take this object, and I take this one, and I go and I combine them, and then I grab the faces. Actually, here's another little trick I do a lot. If I go in here, and I grab the vertice here, and I grab the vertice here, and I go Shift right click, nope, Control right click, faces to faces, nope. And then I can hit it with a bridge. Bloop. There, nice and fast. And that gives me a nice kind of robotic hippie thing. Robotic hippie. Robo hippie. And I got my leg blocked in. Let's go and do the torso or the arm next.